My vote for best bike trail in LA County isn't where you think it would be. No, instead we're going to take the train up to the Antelope Valley to explore one of the most peculiarly placed bike trails I've ever seen. But first we have to get there from El Monte. Yes, we're here at El Monte bus station, the one that's just called El Monte Station, and they assume that you know it's not the train station. And why are we here when we should be taking Metrolink to connect with the Antelope Valley line since we're already getting a day pass? Well, we're taking the bus because Metrolink, in their infinite wisdom, shifted the first train to Lancaster earlier so it no longer connects with the San Bernardino line. They added more service on the Antelope Valley line, but on the weekends the new trains only go to Santa Clarita, and that doesn't help us. But at least we get to go there earlier at the expense of this inconvenience. I realize my intent of making this bike bus friendly is falling short because that rear rack basket actually blocks one of the spaces on one of the styles of bus rack. So I think I'm gonna just cut it off and make the baskets removable. So both the Foothill Transit Silver Streak and the Metro Silver Line will take us to LA. The problem is one of them boards way down there and one of them boards over here, so I kind of just stand in between them and wait for the first one. The Silver Streak, of course, goes all the way east to Montclair and ends in downtown near the convention center, where the Silver Line ends here and goes all the way to San Pedro. They kind of overlap for this one segment. The San Bernardino line also parallels the buses for this segment, the busway being on the 10 freeway, while the train tracks run down the median. Both trains and buses stop at Cal State LA, but only the buses stop at USC Medical Center, which, by the way, isn't on the campus of USC. Yes, we've arrived to the thing on the middle of the freeway at Petesake Bus Plaza, the new one where they no longer drop you off on the dark street corner. Hot girls smoke weed, you should too. No, don't fall for it, it isn't worth it. Wait, that's a banner for the dispensary, not the gentleman's club next door, right? Otherwise that joke is really out of place. From here we go up a bridge over the freeway to the main bus plaza. I kind of like how they use this stainless steel expanded metal or whatever it's called for the walls of this bridge, because it doesn't completely block out the light, but it doesn't completely block out the noise. Petesake Transit Plaza may sound like it's named after a dinosaur, but it's actually named after engineer and urban planner Nick Petesake. Why do they have to name stuff after people who have really difficult names to spell? Petsaurus, Shabarum, Kaiser Permanente. Why can't they pick someone easy like Steve Owen? Oh wait, spoiler alert. Which button is it? P for Petsaurus or P1 for Petsaurus 1? Now I definitely feel like there's a missed opportunity for a walkway right here because the bus station and the train platforms are on the same level, but you have to go downstairs and go back upstairs to get on the platform. I mean, how are we supposed to hop off the bus and jump straight on the train? Looks like palm frond cleanup duty is happening. Sounds like a surfliner pulling in. Again with the confusing elevator buttons, I didn't make my selection fast enough, and it just took me to the next floor that someone called it on, which was parking. At least we get to admire this beautiful tile. Finally on the correct floor, I went and got my day pass. Yeah. Quickly noticed the new Greyhound and Flixbus ticket window, which, by the way, I think Flixbus actually boards across the street from Union Station in a parking lot, and then headed on down to the furthest west Metrolink platform, where the Antelope Valley line boards from. The only track more west of here is the Metro A line. I'm failing to see the function of this piece of fence. You know, these Hyundai cab cars have really grown on me. I used to think they were ugly, but oh, they're alright. Bike car. Heading north from downtown, we passed through Metrolink's Taylor Yard. If you ask a psychologist why do people graffiti, they'd probably say, because they didn't get enough attention growing up, and now they're trying to compensate by getting it from the general public. But if you ask me, I would say, some people still think it's the 80s, and just need to give it up already. Oh wait.
Our next station stop is Glendale. If this is your destination, please watch your step.
Downtown Burbank is the last stop before we split off from the tracks used by the Ventura County Line and the Amtrak Pacific Surfliner and Coast Starlight. The city is home to radio station Power 106 and numerous film studios.
Ladies and gentlemen, now arriving to San Fernando.
Ooh, it's a bike trail. Huh. A bike trail between a major street and the train tracks. Sounds like one we'll be checking out in Lancaster. Making our way out of the San Fernando Valley, we pass through Santa Clarita and its newly opened Vista Canyon station and accompanying transit-oriented developments. Funny enough, Via Princesa to Vista Canyon is the shortest time between any two Metrolink stations in the system, followed immediately by the longest gap between any two stations, of about 40 minutes between here and Vincent Grade Acton. Other fun fact about Santa Clarita is they now have more Metrolink stations than any other city in the system. The Antelope Valley Line is often regarded as one of the most scenic commuter trains in the country. But did you know it's also the only Metrolink line that crosses onto the continental United States? Well, geologically speaking, it's the only route to cross the San Andreas Fault Line, which is the boundary between the Pacific and North American tectonic plates. This station looks a little too much like Knott's Berry Farm. We're also crossing into a different climate zone. Los Angeles being a Mediterranean climate, the Antelope Valley is the western edge of the Mojave Desert.
Our next station stop is Palmdale. If this is your destination, please watch your step and use handholds when moving through the train to the door. Palmdale is our next stop.
Almost to Lancaster. Yes, we made it. To Lancaster. Let's get some food! Heading south on Sierra Highway, we cross over to the Sierra Bike Trail. As seen on trails of Southern California, it's a nice railside trail that connects Lancaster and Palmdale, a great alternative to riding on the street. I turn west on Avenue K, heading down to Winco to get some peanut butter. From the shopping center, we head south on 10th Street West, towards Steve Owen Park. This park is so massive, it has its own transportation center. However, I didn't realize you couldn't enter the park from the adjacent Costco parking lot, which seems like bad planning in my opinion, but there's probably some reason for it, like Costco not wanting park users to use their parking lot. Oh, and I don't know why I'm going this way, because that's the freeway right there, so there's definitely not an entrance right here. I did find an entrance on the side of 10th Street, which didn't look apparent at first because there was no connecting sidewalk. Looks like one of those weather recording stations right here in the park. Insert urban planning rant about why there's a massive fence between the Costco parking lot and the park. Don't worry, I got you covered. Nice of squashy grapefruit to invite us over for a picnic, eh, Luigi? This Winco had the store brand twisty kind pretzels, which are purple and they match my backpack. But more importantly, we got the PB. I like how that one had a switch instead of a button you had to hold down the whole time. Also, pineapple sounded good right now. But it's not a party without the celery. Now the reason I have 4 of these is because I once tried filling up the peanut butter in my own container, and I was halfway into it when some of the store employee told me I'm not allowed to do that, so I had to transfer it into separate containers, and it filled up 4 of them, so now I just reuse them every time. And also I just realized the 3 items I just bought all start with the letter P. Chow down when I come to your town.
Don't nobody want none.
That's right, don't nobody want none. Me when I don't have a separate container to store the leftover pineapple. 11-minute rule. So a little bit about this trail. I discovered it in 2020. It was my birthday and people were like, oh, being around other people's bad for you. So I'm like, forget you guys, I'm going to Lancaster. So I basically just went riding around aimlessly, having a good time, and stumbled across this amazing trail. It's like a 2-mile straightaway with no interruptions and amazing pavement. It's downhill, and on an average day, there's tailwind, so it's like land speed record-setting territory. You'll see. Heading south from the park, I forgot to turn on Avenue L, thinking it was further down, and had to backtrack because the following streets were blocked by the freeway. Let's go! Death-defying freeway on-ramp sequence. Wow, that barricade got destroyed. Not bad at all. Continuing west on Avenue L, it'll be another 7 miles before we reach the trail. Garage sale deviation. Well, that paid off. Everything was free. I got a good stash of tools, including a genuine clamping vice grip and some mystery snap-on thing. Lancaster is surprisingly bike-friendly. The valley is very flat, and many of the major streets have bike lanes on them. It's also very hard to get lost because the streets are numbered in a grid pattern. Starting roughly from the train tracks, every mile you go, the number increases by 10. And from north to south, it's the letters of the alphabet. We're heading to 90th Street West, which is 9 miles west of the tracks. Lancaster. It's positively clear. There's like random fish in this pond on the side of the street. How do fish live in a pond in the gutter? Doesn't it dry out? Where's my local naturalist when I need him? At 70th Street, you pass over onto the opposite side of the street. This is technically where the trail begins, but the fun part is up ahead. We begin the gradual 2-mile climb to the top. My question is, why does this trail even exist? It doesn't appear to lead anywhere, but that's okay. Bike trails can be just as much for helping you get out of town as getting around town. According to Google Earth's time travel function, the solar farm up ahead came into existence around 2017, and the bike trail shortly after. The trail continues on branching south off of Avenue L into the center of the solar farm, stopping just shy of the California Aqueduct. Again, why does this exist? My only guess would be it's a preemptive move for when they eventually develop this into housing, but I could be wrong. I mean, it could just be for fun. Yes, we're out here on the corner of 90th Street and Avenue L at the site of the best bike trail in LA County, which is totally subjective because apparently it doesn't connect to anything or like any destinations at all except the edge of suburban sprawl to some solar fields. But there are good destinations here, as some locals just told me, like the poppies and all this other stuff. But the reason we're here is for this fantastic downhill, 2 miles uninterrupted, and you can go fast. The solar farm also features white pickup truck driving security guards to stare at you while you're filming your videos, making you feel uncomfortable. Let's go! My bike doesn't have a speedometer, so I timed how long it took from 90th to 80th Street, and found I was going about 24 miles per hour. Which isn't bad considering this bike is a single speed, and I was basically maxing out the gear ratio. And there we go. The last block of the trail has a raised curb dividing it from the street, as we saw earlier.
Now off to that other park because I'm thirsty.
I headed down to George Lane Park on 55th Street to chill out for a bit. But then,
oh shit, there's a 4-hour gap in service from Lancaster. And it's 1:42. Time to haul it to Palmdale.
while roughly equidistant from both Lancaster and Palmdale stations, I chose Palmdale for a few reasons. For one, it would give us the extra gap of the train having to get there from Lancaster, and also I would get the advantage of this Pythagorean theorem shortcut that is Rancho Vista Boulevard.
The 4-hour gap in service wouldn't be a big deal if I wasn't also trying to go to Soil Fest in Pomona tonight, because we'd get back way too late for that.
Considering the math in the last segment, going 9 miles in 32 minutes actually sounds possible, but that was under perfect conditions, without having to wait in traffic, and downhill the entire time. So we're cutting it close.
Apparently the trail ends right here, and we have to cross over again. No, it continues on this side. I apparently missed it by 11 minutes.
You have miscalculated!
Well, we have options. We can sit here and wait 4 hours for the next train, but then we won't make it to Pomona until 10:30 p.m. Or we can bike on down Soledad Canyon to Villa Princesa for the next available train at 4:13 or 6:13 if I don't make it. Let me eat some pretzels and think about it.